It is August, which means it's time for a 30-day magnesium challenge. Maybe you've joined me every year doing this. Maybe this is your first year. No matter what, we're going to start at the beginning. So, magnesium 30-day challenge, August 1st. But that doesn't mean that you have to start on August 1st. Some people don't join us actively soaking in magnesium until August 15th. Some people join at the end of the month. Just pick a date that you will start and get started. What will you need to start? You will need two 32-ounce bottles of magnesium. You will need a glass bowl to soak in that your feet soak in. I use a Pyrex casserole dish, and you will need a towel and something to measure your magnesium, because I promise if you just eyeball it, you're getting too much magnesium, and we don't want to waste our magnesium. A quarter cup for adults, an eighth of a cup for children. Here's the big question: why do we focus in August when August is this whole different kind of vibe? I don't know about your house, but it is at my house, in the fact that I'll be on the road. I'll be doing a last visit to grandkids before they're in school. And it's really not the most convenient month for me to run a 30-day magnesium challenge. But, and here's the but. And remember, the word but negates everything you said before. And here's my but when it comes to why I'm doing a 30-day challenge in August and why I think it's so very important. And the answer simply is the more I live seasonally, the easier it is to create optimal health. And we know now more than ever in 2022, we know that vitamin D levels are critical for strong immune function. And we know that vitamin D levels naturally drop in the wintertime. And we know that you must have appropriate levels of magnesium to convert your vitamin D. So, for example, if your vitamin D is low, that's actually a magnesium issue. So let's start where the problem started, and that's with low magnesium. Now, my magnesium's not low. I do want it to be optimal going into the winter months so that I'm taking my stored vitamin D and I'm converting it to active vitamin D that gives me a strong immune system that can handle whatever gets thrown its way. Now, really, really, really important to remember, and this is my little disclaimer: I am not a doctor. I don't play a doctor on TV. I don't have a white coat. I am not a doctor. And I would never presume you must do this. I am sharing with you what I've learned and sharing educational pieces from science journals, from different studies that have been done, and from what I've been able to observe. But I lay full responsibility right back on you to make sure whatever we talk about during our 30-day challenge, that it's a good fit for you, because I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know. You might have stage 4 renal failure, which would make it absolutely inappropriate for you to soak in magnesium because kidneys filter magnesium. And so you have to make sure that you're making the best decisions for you. Now, what is cell saturation? That is when your magnesium blood level test, not a serum, but your magnesium red blood level test comes back at 6.3 or above. And that test you can purchase. I prefer walk-in labs over the last 20 years. 20 years we've been running this magnesium 30-day challenge. And I've found that walk-in labs has the most accurate numbers. And so I will tag in the comments walk-in labs so that you can go, you can get your magnesium test done. Now, a lot of people will ask me, Kristen, should I test before? Absolutely, you can if you want to. I stopped talking about testing before because as a society, the majority of people, not everyone, but the majority of people are deficient in magnesium. In fact, studies show not only low in magnesium, we're severely deficient in magnesium. So I want to take that $50 and put it toward a cute pair of shoes or something, or magnesium. And so I personally don't see the benefit of getting your magnesium tested beforehand, but some people want to. And so if you want to, absolutely fine, go for it. When you go to walk-in labs, you buy it online, you go to a lab that's close to you. So make sure you've got a lab close to where you live. And then you go in, have your blood drawn, and in a couple days, they get your numbers back to you. Now, numerous years ago, they dropped the levels that was considered cell saturation. Just because society is getting sicker doesn't mean I drop my standard. No way, not going there. Just because we're walking away from that accountability and basic grandma wisdom of what it takes to create health, I am not willing to sacrifice my health to meet a lower standard. So I still go by magnesium cell saturation as being at 6.3 or above. And then the beautiful thing is, after you figure out where your magnesium is at after the 30-day challenge, that's going to help you determine how often you soak. And so the soaking becomes something that's very individualized to you, to your journey, your body, your way. That it becomes something that no marketer can tell you how often you need to soak, because you know and you have that information and that knowledge for yourself. The other day, I was scrolling and I came across this quote, and I've tried to go back and find the quote. It is not my quote. I am sharing it with you. I can't find it. So if you know who this quote is from, please tell me, because I realized this makes such a difference in how efficient your magnesium soaking is. So let me back up a little bit before I share the quote. So your thoughts are power, and your thoughts and the words that you use determine your magnesium burn rate. Your frustrations increase your magnesium burn rate. Your gratitude decreases your magnesium burn rate, so you don't need as much. And we'll talk about that throughout the 30-day challenge. You are so much more powerful than what you're giving yourself credit for. And so here's the quote. And I realized women who struggle getting to cell saturation, this might help them. So let's start out with this shift in our thinking so that magnesium can be as effective as possible in our bodies, because that's my goal. I want to spend the least amount of time on my health so that I'm spending the most amount of time hanging out with people that I love. I do not want my health to take over my life and be every moment of my life. And here's the quote. And I want you to know. Oh, let's see. We've got a couple people online that have joined us. I would love to know. Share in the comments what you think about this quote, if it just strikes you like it did me. So when it comes to being healthy, are you trying to change your body, or are you taking care of your body? For so many years, I was trying to change my body, change the way it looked, change the way it acted. I've made that switch to I'm caring for my body. In fact, I have to tell you this really fun thing I'm excited about. I am in a Pilates certification course, and I've wanted to do it for years, but didn't feel like my body looked like a Pilates instructor body, and so I didn't do it. And I realized that was me walking that line of perfection. I'll do something I want to do when my body is this. And that means that I had a higher burn rate with that kind of thinking. This course, even if I never share Pilates with a single person, it has changed me. And I had to stop waiting to change my body and instead shift to taking care of my body. And we know that the ultimate gift of taking care of our body is making sure that our vitamin D levels are strong, because as we go into winter, they will naturally drop. And another thing that's high on my list, and I'd love to know what it is on your list, is living seasonally. I want to eat foods that are being grown seasonally. I want to do activities that are seasonal. I want to move my body with the rising and the setting of the sun. And so when we are in August, because it's really an inconvenient month for me to soak in magnesium and do a 30-day challenge, because I'm on the road, I'm seeing grandkids before they get back into school, and it would be a lot easier to do it in September. But living seasonally is one of my values that drives my decision to do it in August, because we've got good sunshine. Walking in the morning sunshine, getting that original red light therapy from the rising sun as the sun comes up in the east, and soaking in magnesium, the trifecta of the walking, the red light from that sunrise, and getting our magnesium levels up is the most powerful combination that I have seen in 20 years of interacting with now tens of thousands of women who are focused on creating health. It's the most powerful combination of things to give you a strong foundation. Now, I'm not saying it will cure everything. Never. I'm not saying it will cure everything. It will give you a stronger foundation. And as you build that strong foundation, a lot of your symptoms go away. So this month is about watching the sunrise, walking, soaking in magnesium, and learning about magnesium and how it works in our body. What is it not about? It is not about giving up because you missed a day. Imperfect action creates optimal health. The only thing that determines your health if you missed a day is how you react to it. If you give up, you get frustrated, you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I never can do this. I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. Then yes, that will take down your magnesium. But if you say, oh, I will soak today. I missed yesterday, but I'm soaking today. No drama, no dialogue, no problem. It's so important to remember that. And sometimes we can get caught in taking everything off our list to find our value. And our value is not found in checking every box off of the list, and neither is our health. And so this month, we're going to talk about gut health and hormone balance and bones and brain health and immune system, thyroid, adrenals, patterns. I'll share some of my favorite quotes. And I'm going to be giving away, are you ready for this? Oh, I have a lot of magnesium to share. I'm going to be giving away 10 bottles of magnesium a week. Can we have a roar? Ah! 10 bottles a week. I haven't done a lot of giveaways lately. And back in the old days when Living the Good Life Naturally started, I did them on the radio all the time and I loved it. It was my favorite part of the radio show. So, Facebook is weird about giveaways. They don't like them. And so is what they do is if you're doing a giveaway on Facebook, they bring down your video in the algorithm so less people see the video. And I have to tell you, I want as many people to make the decision if doing the 30-day magnesium challenge, if it's a good fit for them, as possible. So we're not doing the giveaway on Facebook. We're going to do it on the Good Life texting group. And I will put that link in the comments. And if you're not on that texting group, you'll want to join. Now, for privacy and for a safe boundary for me, you do have to put your first and last name. Just like if you and I were going to lunch together and talking, I would know your name and you would know my name. And this is the hard thing of social media because you know my name, but I don't know your name. And we've had some spam come in through that group. And so to keep that really open and authentic with people who are truly wanting to create optimal health and strong vitamin D levels with me, we do ask you'll click on it, you'll fill out your first and last name, and then those texts will start coming to you. Now, if you opt not to do your name, then in a couple of days, you're actually taken off of that texting group. So if that's not a good fit for you, no problem. But that's where the giveaways are going to be happening. So that group will get a little bit more active during the next 30 days. And if at any point during the 30-day challenge, you're like, oh, this woman talking about magnesium all the time and she's driving me nuts, you just reply stop to one of those texts and it automatically will take you off of the list and you will have to sign up again to get back on that list. But that's where all the giveaways are going to be happening. I'm really excited about this 30-day challenge. It's more important than it's ever been to have a strong vitamin D level. One of the things we'll talk about is our stored vitamin D and our active vitamin D and the role that magnesium plays in taking your vitamin D from stored to active and what tests you should get and where you should test for magnesium and all sorts of information. How do we actually get to the point where our food is healing our gut? That's something I'm really passionate about and want to share with you some things that I've learned. So I would love to know, when are you starting? I officially started today. Soaking and doing my 30-day challenge. I know I'll miss a couple days. I usually do. Our ultimate goal is not to miss more or to soak 80% of the 30 days. Okay. Now, I used to say 70, but we have a heavier virus load in our body right now. And so it's taking more to get our bodies to cell saturation. And so one of the pieces of grandma wisdom at Living the Good Life Naturally is staying current with what our bodies need. And so currently, because of that increased virus load in our body, we need to make sure that we're hitting the soaking in magnesium 80% of the 30 days to do the 30-day challenge. If you're like me and you want to go into the winter with a strong immune, with strong vitamin D levels, because remember, we know that vitamin D drops down naturally. It's a natural, vitamin D shouldn't stay at peak levels all of the time. There's a natural rhythm and flow to vitamin D, and it should drop a little bit. So in the summertime, we need our levels up and strong so that our bodies can handle that seasonal dip that happens. So tell me, what day are you starting? Have you heard of the 30-day challenge? How many times have you done the 30-day challenge? And if you want, I would love for you to share this video, get your friends joining us, and let's all hang out together and talk all things magnesium. Oh, and my name's Kristen Bowen. I'm the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally, and I geek out on magnesium. I've been studying it and talking about it for 20 years, and I'm passionate about the quality of my magnesium that you can find at Living the Good Life Naturally. In fact, today, on one of our Facebook ads, a lady commented, I'm just going to go body plunge in the Great Salt Lake every day. This is ridiculous. And I very politely, I was proud of myself because it was a little bit of a snarky comment. I very politely said back to her, no problem, but that doesn't meet my standard. And then I shared numerous articles and research that showed high heavy metals in the Great Salt Lake magnesium. And I could get it from there for pennies. It would be so much cheaper. But I don't soak in magnesium to increase my body's heavy metals. That is not why I soak. I soak in magnesium so that I'm creating a magnesium rich environment for my body to thrive. I soak in magnesium to walk away from calcium dominance. Now, calcium's important, but we need more magnesium than calcium. And most of us are living the other way. We have more calcium than magnesium. And so I'm making sure that I am doing what it takes to create that magnesium rich environment. So I've got some things to go post. You'll need 2 bottles of magnesium. You'll need a Pyrex casserole dish is what I use, or a crock pot insert is another thing that you can use. Don't soak in plastic. It stops the uptake of magnesium while you soak. There's something about the molded plastic. Remember, you can soak in a tub. That's okay. I usually soak in a bowl during the 30 days. It's a little more efficient for me. Every once in a while, I'll do a bath with it. Either way, just make sure your feet are in the water. Quarter cup for adults, an eighth of a cup for kids. And let's get this party started. And our goal is cell saturation, which is 6.3 or above. So excited to have you here. Can't wait to hear if this is your first one, if you've done them all with me, where are you at, when are you starting? So give me all the details, spill all the tea. I want to know. Have the best day.